Is Lucid finally a value play? And for you traders, I'm going to hit it after we do stock analyzer. So let's look at Lucid here. Guys, this was a high of about $55, $57 just in November, and now we're sitting at $18. This is also a company that has a market cap of about $31 billion and revenue of $84 million. Now, they did drive a little bit more revenue in the past quarter. This was supposed to be the most disruptive company. This is supposed to be the biggest competition to Tesla out there. I'm sorry, a company like this in the immediate future is not going to be competing with Tesla. Tesla is a well-oiled machine. They are finally profitable. They make a great product. They have really great staff that can fix their products. They have an extensive charging station. Maybe sometime in the future, Lucid will compete. But the argument that this is going to be the biggest competitor to Tesla in the near future should not be an argument. Looking at the 8 pillars, there's not enough data here. Now that's fine. We can go and look at. We can come up with our own value and try to do that because our software needs 5 years of data. This doesn't have 5 years of data, which is fine. So what we're going to first do is look at the income statement. And excuse me, as I bounce through this, I am going to hop over to their quarterly report, and we can look at it from that perspective and see what forward-looking guidance they have. So their revenue. Remember, guys, $34 billion company. It was over $100 billion company at one point. Revenue in one quarter, into the third quarter of 2021, sitting at $232,000. I think I made more money in that quarter. Revenue in the first quarter of 2022, sitting at $57 million. So kudos to them for increasing. I mean, listen, if you go to their website and you look, or you go on YouTube and you look at their cars, awesome cars. There's no doubt about it. They are awesome cars. They do not make money, and their shares outstanding has been increasing drastically. They are diluting the heck out of shareholders. Now, debt, I'm sure it's an interesting situation. Total current assets of about $6 billion. Total current liabilities sitting at $512 million. So I am actually quite impressed with that. Now, I will say the Saudis have been pumping money into them, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. They have a backer, but that is where a lot of their assets are coming from. Let's go over to this document. So this wasn't in this wasn't in their press release, but this is from a story that I read this morning on CNBC on the morning show. Saudi Arabia government plans to buy 100,000 Lucid vehicles over the next decade. So they definitely have a clientele. Even if the consumers don't buy it, they're going to have some type of clientele in the Saudi government. And back in, I believe it was 2017, 2018, they put in well over $1 billion into this company. So Lucid reported second quarter revenue of $97.3 million on 697 vehicles in the quarter. Reservations that they have total is about 37,000, representing potential sales of $3.5 billion. Potential, of course. Lucid revised its 2022 production volume to the range of 6,000 to 7,000 vehicles. It was sitting around 20,000 vehicles. They dropped it to about 12,000 vehicles, and now they're sitting in this range of 6,000 to 7,000 vehicles. Lucid reported a first half production of 1,405 vehicles. So they have production. I will give them that. They definitely are producing cars. Now, the question becomes, for me, and I'm going to talk about this from, I own an EV. It's a Tesla Model S. Me going on road trips in my Tesla Model S is flawless. Anywhere that I go, there is a charging station. If I'm driving down the turnpike, all I have to do is get off at the turnpike exit, the same rest stop that everybody else gets off at, and there's charging stations there. They have charging stations all along the way, even if I'm not on the turnpike. There's about 36,000 charging stations out there in the United States from Tesla. Ford doesn't have that situation. They're better because they're using Electrify America, but it's not really working. Lucid, I've never heard of one. This is a big issue going forward that I'm going to have to think about, and you as an investor are going to have to think about. So revenue growth. How are we going to type this in to the stock analyzer tool? When you have revenue, one of your revenue growth of 36,235%, how can you put something in here? Profit margin, not driving much profit margin. They don't have any data. So it's $18 a share right now. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this is a high flyer. There's not enough data for an educated investor to say this is what it's going to be in the future. Let's put in some numbers because They could eventually be a good car company, but let's put in some numbers here. So over the next decade, my revenue growth projections for them, well, it's probably not going to be 36,000. So I'm going to put it somewhere in the range of, I'll go 12, 16, and I will put in 20. That's over the next 10 years. Profit margin, I will go with 4, 6, and 8, and I think that is high. I'll do 4, 6, and 8 as well for the free cash margin. Now, PE, you know what? I'm going to go with a PE of 20, 24, and 28, just to appease people. Same thing here. Do I actually think that this will happen to be a good value? No, but let's go with it. And a margin of safety, which is my return that I want to see. I'm going to put in 15% because it's a risky investment. And I mean, guys, I don't even know. I'm coming up here. It's basically nothing. Now let's change it. Let me show you. Let's change this. Let's go on the high side. Let's just play with the high number. 40%. Profit margin of 20%. Free cash flow margin, 20%. PE, let's put in 40. Price to free cash flow, let's put in 40. And let's put in a desired return of the market. Let's put in 10%. Even with those numbers that I just put in, those absolutely outrageous numbers, I would have to be paying about $5 today to be able to get that return. That is with a revenue growth of 40%, profit margin of 20%, which is absolutely unheard of in the car industry. PE ratio of 40 and a desired return of 10. If I put in a desired return of 5, still not there. Let's put in a desired return of 2, still not there, $10. So guys, this is something that you really need to do. You need to follow them a lot longer and do a lot more research on them and see what their projection is going into the future. Right now, there's just not enough data to go at it. Great car, not enough data. Traders, this is an excellent company to trade because you get the fluctuations all over the place. Great company to trade. I'm actually going to look at this from a long-term perspective because I just noticed a pattern. It's the first time I'm pulling this up, actually. I just noticed a pattern here, and it's a little bit of an ugly face. So we're getting that ugly face pattern. And what does an ugly face typically mean? Well, it means a fall. And the earnings report, it was not a friendly one. It is down about 11% right now. So if this fall continues, your ugly face pattern is going to work out for you. Now, here's typically what you'll see on an ugly face. Here's your ugly face, and you'll get that subsequent fall back to this level. You also had an ugly face here, but it didn't really work. It didn't work out the way it was, way it usually does. But remember, when you're looking at trends like that, it's not a certainty. It is a probability thing. It's going to tell you there's a higher probability that X situation is going to happen. So swing trading, great stock to swing trade, great stock to day trade. If this can stay under this 50-day moving average and just break away, you notice here, this stock has been a magnet to these yellow and purple lines. Just an absolute magnet. If this can eventually break away and just start to fall and make that ride towards zero, not going to zero, but towards the zero number, that is when you're going to have your opportunity to go short on this and make a lot of money. That's Lucid. Catch you on the flippity flop.